Hi, people. It's me again, obviously. As always, and as usual, Moino Ravenberg. I'm going to be covering the Greek goddess Artemis, as you can tell and or see, as is always and or is usually the case. Now, let's begin. I'm going to read a snippet from the Wikipedia section the way I usually do, and you can find that Wikipedia entry linked in the description of this video, as well as an informational video about Artemis. If you have no idea who she is, just wait until the end of this video. The video will be linked at the end screen. In ancient Greek religion and mythology, Artemis is the goddess of the hunt, wilderness, wild animals, nature, vegetation, childbirth, care of children, and chastity. In later times, she was identified with Selene, the personification of the moon. She was often said to roam the forests and mountains, attended by her entourage of nymphs. The goddess Diana is her Roman equivalent. And then it just goes on, obviously. So again, you want to read or watch all what Artemis is all about. You want to know what she's all about. Do the aforementioned. I'm purely going to discuss her occult traits and faculties for spirit workers and magicians, people that want to work with her. What does Artemis bring to the table? Now I need to start off the bat. I'm going to start off right off the bat by saying that Artemis is she is not the conventional goddess, pagan goddess that you usually worship, as is the case with pagan gods and whatnot. She was essentially more of a role model and for women based on her characteristics. You heard it for yourself. And she was like a guiding individual, more of a just plain and simply role model, honestly. Okay. The personification of the ideal woman, strong, independent, yet also feminine and beautiful, and it just goes on like that. And so I just want to say that I've I don't often come across entities, so spirits that have these kind of attributes to the point where they're not like an entity that has subservient entities underneath him or her, and they are just an authoritarian figure, to put it that way. On rare occasion, entities will be more like they're going to be more individualistic in nature, comparable to you, me, or anyone else as the average person. So yeah. Anyways, Artemis is Venusian, unsurprisingly. She corresponds to the zodiac sign Libra, very strong Venusian, like Venusian is dominant, but she also has a very strong lunar influence. So right off the bat, again, you can see or tell that her description rings true in alignment or in comparison with what she can offer a practitioner. So, as an entity, as a spiritual entity, you're an occultist, whether male or female, you want to work with Artemis because you're a pagan worker or you like pagan spirits, pagan gods and goddesses, you name it. Then yeah, that's what Artemis is all about. So you can use both Venusian as well as lunar correspondences, but I still heavily recommend or considerably recommend Venusian, unless what you do is of a lunar nature. But even then, I would still say stick to convention because that's also what she prefers. She prefers just to work by the books and do things the conventional way. So you heard it, Venusian. Okay. Corresponding zodiac sign is Libra. Um, and yeah, what else can I say that I haven't said already? Nothing really. She also aligns with nature, as her description states, as in goddess of the hunt and whatnot. She can help you on hunts if you're into hunting, or if you're looking for wild animals or a suitable location to do the aforementioned, or if you're just looking for a beautiful forest and or area to take a stroll, and so on and so forth. And as well as all the other things, honestly, or at the very least, the majority of the other things, such as dealing with childbirth and so on and so forth. I also saw that she was associated with sudden death, and that is true, but up to a reasonable extent. That's not her specialty. Her specialty is, as I said in the beginning, she is more of a, let's just say, an ancient feminist goddess, like a constructive, ideal feminist. She is the ideal woman. Let's just put it that way. And any woman that works with her, I mean, women have an advantage considering the fact that she's a goddess compared to men. That doesn't have to necessarily make so much of a difference, but nevertheless, it still makes a difference, and a considerable one at that in her case, due to the strong feminine energy. If a guy works with her, you can expect that guy to become not ultra feminine, but he will start gaining traits. In some cases, it is necessary, you know. For example, if a guy is like too butchy and he wants to have a little bit more feminine energy, then yeah, that's thingy would be ideal for that. Artemis would be ideal for that. But of course, provided that Artemis wants to work with a guy like that, it depends on personal conditions and or circumstances. But women have a strong advantage. Like if a woman wants to become attractive, let's just say you're an ugly duckling, bluntly put, or you're not exactly the most beautiful woman in the world, Artemis can help you out in that regard or aspect. Working with her and exposure to her energy will naturally make you beautiful and more charming and feminine and all the other things that an attractive woman possesses other than physical charm, just also, I mean, physical appeal or aesthetics. Um, being charming, just being suave and whatnot, and all the while simultaneously still strong. It's like a beautiful flower with thorns. A flower that's beautiful, gentle, and yet has the capacity, more than the capacity, to defend itself if need be, and to be assertive or just plain self-assertive. Let me see. And contrary to what is said about, hypothetically speaking, contrary to what is said about Artemis in regards to virginity and whatnot, the god being the goddess of virginity, and because she was also a virgin and whatnot, at the very least up to a certain point, Artemis does have strong romantic qualities as well, and she'll also bestow those upon the operator, whether it's through long-term or severe exposure to her energy, considerable exposure to her energy, or because it's desired from the operator, or both, you know. Both usually. Okay, in the end, you'll be by default, I mean, you'll be left with both, or you'll have to deal with both. So she can also play matchmaker and hook you up with someone that you're compatible with. If you're a woman, you're looking for a boyfriend, etc. You're looking for a significant other, if you will, yeah. And also improve relationships between two people. And it doesn't just have to be necessarily of the romantic kind. It can be any relationship, friendship, romantic ship, anything that ends with ship, essentially, any bond that two or more people have with each other, but not so much a group of people. Let's just say two. So anything in that area, anything encompassing that, yeah, that's what Artemis is all about. Let me see if there is anything else. Yeah, Artemis also deals with clairvoyance. So it's not a surprise, you know, the moon definitely sees to that, as well as the fact um, that that Artemis has that specific degree, specifically 6 degrees in Libra, the same degree that the sun was in when I was born. I was also born under the sun in 6 degrees in Libra, and in any case, Artemis essentially, or converted to Artemis's capabilities, she'll also be able to bestow considerable amounts of clairvoyance upon you. Oh yeah, and last but not least, her appearance. Her appearance is, generally speaking, as portrayed. She looks like generally speaking, into general form, is a woman with chestnut hair and the eyes to match, definitely. So think chestnut brown hair, almost like a redhead. Same color eyes. She's wearing, generally speaking, what you see depicted when you Google her or in the thumbnail of this video. She wears something that is suave, sensual, and yet still respectful, as general attire, loose-fitting clothing that can be seductive. I mean, the fact that I'm a guy definitely plays a role, of course, especially a guy with a strong sex drive. So yeah, Artemis, she showed herself to me in a manner of speaking. She went nude and everything. Not an issue, but that's because it's me. Um, and her attire was see-through, unsurprisingly, for my pleasure, essentially for my enjoyment. But setting that aside, that's what she generally speaking looks like, and she also, indeed, as the description states, has a deer with her and two hunting dogs that look almost wolf-like in nature, of average size, the size of the average dog. Um, And like I hear the sounds and everything, the dogs noises, the barking, and the deer sounded like a sheep bleating, like meh. Which I found a bit comical, but deer make similar noises if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but it doesn't matter either way. In any case, that's the noise the deer made. And let me see if there's anything else. Yeah, no, that's pretty much it. So that is all, guys. Bye bye.